Good afternoon. I'm Steve,
And I'm Scott.
and together we are Backyard Musings, broadcasting from Apple Valley, California. We are the Science and Technology channel, bringing you stories that the mainstream's not carrying, but they're innovative research breakthroughs. Physics, astronomy, chemistry, health, you name it, technology.
And occasionally politics.
Yeah, well, those are special editions.
Yeah.
The politics thing. All right, so this is, remember, Scott, when we had a segment 2 months ago, the bristlecone pine forest?
Yes.
Yeah, and
yes,
the oldest trees on the earth?
in the White Mountain Range, right?
Well, I found an interesting organism that is trees, but they're interconnected with their roots.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
A colossal living organism, the Pando, Pando, faces an existential threat after thriving for millennia. Spanning 106 acres in the United States between Vegas, Nevada, and Salt Lake City, Utah, this enormous entity is a genetically identical cloned aspen tree colony. Weighing around 6,000 tons, the Pando's interconnected roots form a single massive organism. This is hard to believe, man. However, despite its enormity, the Pando is vulnerable to a significant threat: overgrazing animals.
I would love to know exactly where this is. Do you know exactly where this is? I'd love to go by and see these.
Yeah.
But I mean, do they look like just regular aspens? You just can't tell them apart. I don't know.
Yeah, they look like regular aspens.
This, I mean, that's it. From Las Vegas to
Salt
Lake City
all across
that's about 300. That's about 350 miles.
Yeah, well,
so this is going to be a different area.
We show how big it is when we talk about. Okay. Scott wants to know more. Would you like to know more?
Yeah, no, I definitely want to know more. So, Pando, from Latin Pando, spread is what that means. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, first person conjugation.
So, is the world's largest tree, a quaking aspen, Populus tremoloides. Tremolo.
Sounds fine to me.
Okay. Located in the Sevier County, Utah, in the United States, which is about kind of central Utah, in the Fish Lake National Forest, beautiful area. A male clonal organism, Pando, has an estimated 47,000 stems that appear to be individual trees, but are not, because those stems are connected by a root system that spans 106 acres.
106 acres, that's big.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good size. Pando is the largest tree by weight and landmass and the largest known aspen clone. Pando is identified as a single living organism because each of its stems possesses identical genetic markers. The massive interconnected root system coordinates energy production, defense, and regeneration across the tree's landmass.
This is crazy.
Yeah,
when I saw this story,
exactly
I was like, wow.
where this is. I would love to go see this. So.
Well, I mean,
you can just Google it. National Forest is. So.
Just Google it and you can find where they are.
Yeah. Gotta do that.
Paleoecologist Dr. Richard Elton Walton, that's Elton Walton, writing in the Conversation, that's a periodical, says, quote, overgrazing by deer and elk is one of the biggest worries. Wolves and cougars once kept their numbers in check, but herds are now much larger because of the loss of these predators. End quote. Well,
so what's the matter with the man predator?
Send in Steve
and
his family to call that elk herd.
Give some people, give some more people some chances to go up there and kill some elk.
Elk is delicious. Oh, not so fast, Steve. The deer and elk are drawn to the Pando as its protected status under the U.S. National Forest Service makes it a haven from hunting. Yeah, so you can't. So this is what you get. Man.
We need to write to the new Interior Secretary and see if we can change that, right?
Yeah, because elk is delicious. Yeah. Dr. Walton notes, quote, deer and elk also tend to congregate in Pando as the protection the woodland receives means they are not in danger of being hunted there. However, it remains the world's largest scientifically documented organism.
Interesting.
Crazy.
Yeah. Although the Pando is safeguarded from logging, its existence is threatened by the devastating combination of overgrazing animals and disease. The youngest trees are being decimated as deer and elk consume the tops of newly forming stems. while the older stems succumb to sooty bark canker and leaf spot and conch fungal disease. So
I don't know. Are they making these up? Conch fungal disease?
So I don't remember. It's probably been about 10 or 15 years ago, maybe longer, that there was a pretty big forest fire up there. I wonder if these trees were saved from that for some reason.
Well, it's a big organism, so they just probably
Popped back up again.
Pop back up after a year or two of after it ended.
Yeah.
Okay. Since the early 2000s, little information has been adequately corroborated about Pando's origins and how its genetic integrity has been sustained over a long period of time, conservatively between 9,000 and 16,000 years old by the latest estimate last year. So that would rival the bristlecone pine.
No.
No?
Oh, no.
No?
Yeah, no, those things are way old.
Yeah,
they're way old.
Huh, okay. Researchers have argued that Pando's future is uncertain due to a combination of factors including drought, cattle grazing, and fire suppression. You're up.
Okay. Pando's long-lived nature suggests it has survived droughts that have driven out human societies for centuries at a time. In terms of grazing, a majority of Pando's landmass is fenced for permanent protection. Oh, okay. And management as a unique tree. Cattle grazing is the only permitted on a volume basis for 10 days a year in October.
Wow, why even weird. Bother, man?
Yeah, in October.
You see them lining up at the gate. Go!
Yeah, what the heck? And then you got to go pick them up. Weather permitting at a small edge of Pando's expanse. Additionally, in 2023, local grazers group 7 Mile Grazers signed off on a plan that would bring the remaining portions of Pando into protective care under the Pando Protection Plan, another PPP, which would bring nearly 84 acres of the tree into protective care. Huh.
Wow, this is extensive,
so
that'd
kick it up to almost 200 acres.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Research indicates Pando has survived fires that have likely leveled the tree many times, after which Pando regenerated itself from the root system. The same research also indicates large-scale fire events are infrequent, which may be owed to the fact that aspen are water-heavy trees and thus naturally fire-resistant, earning them the name asbestos forest by Canadian forest ecologist Laurie Daniels.
I stand corrected. So bristlecone pine is between 4,000 and 5,000 years old.
Yeah.
So this is older.
This is old.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. There is broad consensus that wildlife controls and protection from deer and elk, who feed on the new growth faster than it can reach maturity, are critical to Pando's future and care. How would they come up with that? How would they find that out? Really? Protection systems coupled with ongoing monitoring and restoration efforts have been shown to be the most effective, dating back to the first projects to protect and care for the tree in the late 1980s and early 1990s, with new projects underway. So
get hunters in there to cull the herds. That's what I'm saying. How do we know that this thing isn't going to overtake the earth?
Yeah, and you wouldn't have to do it every time, right? I mean, you could just have it like a special hunt.
Yeah, special hunt. Go in there and fill your tags and get out,
and those animals.
The carcass would feed
Right,
fertilizer. Know?
And obviously those animals are smart enough to know that they're not being hunted there.
Yeah.
So they would eventually move out if they were starting to be hunted there.
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's crazy.
Pretty fascinating.
Yeah, very fascinating. All right, folks. We'll see you in the morning. Oh, one last thing. Should have announced this first. Our hearts go out to the victims of the plane crash and their families in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that was devastating.
Devastating.
And some of the United States national figure skating team was on that plane.
Yeah.
They were coming back from a camp in Kansas.
Yeah.
Tragic. But it's unfortunate. That's all I can say. Yeah, hearts go out to the families.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, folks. We'll see you.
Take care.